placed with Grandma. He explained that his grandmother told him Mother's Day is a celebration meant for her and that she expects gifts and quality time on that special day. I'm deeply disturbed and disheartened by this woman's actions. It's disconcerting that she would ask a child to get her presents and make specific plans for Mother's Day. I'm still trying to process the situation. His father had to sit down with him and clarify that our family wouldn't be spending time with Grandma on Mother's Day and that children should not be expected to give gifts to adults. Edit: no edits were made. Update: no updates were provided. TLDR: a 5-year-old's grandma told him that Mother's Day is for her, resulting in hurt and anger for the child's parents. Tipping is a plague. Needs to stop for everyone's benefit. I'm fucking tired of how I'm expected to tip above 20% for services not yet rendered. If I'm going to the counter, placing order and picking it up, what the fuck am I expected to tip for? Doing your fucking job? The tipping culture is a toxic phenomenon that needs to be eradicated for the greater good. I've reached my breaking point with the expectation of tipping more than 20% before services are even rendered. When I place an order and pick it up from the counter, I'm essentially doing the work that an employee should be doing. It's unfair and unsustainable. This tipping system is a plague that affects everyone, from workers to customers. It's time to put an end to this practice. Employers should pay their staff a fair wage, taking into account the prices they charge for their products. If a business can't afford to do so, it's a sign that they need to reassess their pricing strategy. A good product or service should stand on its own merit, attracting customers without the need for excessive tipping. Post-pandemic, this issue has only worsened. This topic has been a contentious issue for a long time. There are arguments both in favor and against the tipping culture. Some argue that it allows customers to express their gratitude and reward good service, while others see it as a necessary evil to make up for low wages. Update: some countries have implemented a service charge or a minimum wage, which has helped to alleviate the burden on customers. Bark like a dog when the delivery person wouldn't just leave the food by the door. I have anxiety, and in the app I asked for them not to knock on the door or ring the doorbell and just text when they arrive. The delivery man loudly knocked on the door 5 times. It stressed me. When the delivery person refused to abandon the food at my doorstep, I let out a frantic howl that could have come from a distressed canine. My anxiety often gets the better of me, and I had previously requested in the app that the delivery person refrain from disturbing me by knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell, instead opting for a discreet text notification. However, this individual chose to loudly announce his presence 5 times in a row, leaving me feeling utterly frazzled. In a moment of unbridled desperation, I began racing through my apartment, letting out a series of high-pitched yips that would have been right at home in a dog park. As I scratched on the door while continuing to vocalize my distress, I must admit that the absurdity of the situation somehow managed to calm my frazzled nerves. To my relief, the delivery person ultimately decided to leave the food at my doorstep, thus bringing an end to the ordeal. Please note that this story may be triggering for those who experience anxiety or have anxiety disorders. Update: if you're a delivery person and someone has requested no door knocking or doorbell ringing, please respect their wishes to avoid causing unnecessary stress. TLDR: delivery person knocks on the door despite request. Me and a professor have had a bad relationship due to some foolish choices. I sent her an email regarding an assignment and received this reply: it is not proper etiquette to email your professor in the middle of the night. In the future, I advise you to be respectful of contact T. I've had a tumultuous relationship with one of my professors, stemming from past mistakes. In an attempt to rectify the situation, I sent her an email regarding an assignment. Her response left me bewildered: your timing is not ideal for emailing me, especially in the dead of night. Moving forward, I expect you to be considerate of my availability, which is between 7 in the morning and 5 in the evening, she stated. I received this message at approximately 7 a.m., and I couldn't fathom why emailing her at this time was considered improper. Why should I refrain from sending emails outside of her designated hours? I'm not inclined to engage in phone calls. If she needs to address something, it's her job to read and respond to my emails when it suits her. This email wasn't urgent, so I fail to see why her schedule should dictate when I can reach out to her. Edit: some users have expressed confusion about the original post. The author is upset because the professor is implying that it's wrong to email them at 7 a.m., technically still morning, despite the fact that 7 a.m. is outside the professor's designated evening hours of 5 to 7 p.m. Update: this: I sold flour and salt as cocaine to kids before prom, made a bunch of cash and still haven't told them. I'm 22 now. It's honestly funny for the most part, but I feel terrible that I took a fair amount of money from kids around my school. I knew none of them had ever done. As a high school student, I capitalized on my reputation for being well connected by selling a harmless powder to my peers, claiming it was a highly sought-after illicit substance. The combination of flour and salt was marketed as a potent and highly addictive substance, all in the name of making a quick profit. Although the situation seems amusing in retrospect, I now harbor deep regret for swindling a large sum of money from my classmates. At the time, I knew that none of them had any prior experience with such substances, and my actions were motivated by a desire to capitalize on their naivety. The culmination of this scheme came to pass when a group of my peers, fueled by the cocaine they had purchased from me, gathered in a bathroom at an after-party, reveling in their perceived high. Their antics and boasts about their supposed experiences left me feeling uneasy, and I was bombarded with requests for more of the drugs the very next day. Faced with the consequences of my actions, I was left with no choice but to decline their demands. TLDR, a 22-year-old reflects on their past actions, selling a harmless substance to their classmates, claiming it was an illicit substance, and now feels guilty about it. Edit WIBTA if I tell siblings how much I spend on mom. 5 kids, I'm in the middle and pay 75% of mom's bills. 2 weeks ago, sibling A says, sibling B told me mom's stove is broken. Over Thanksgiving, sibling B told me, you know mom's stove is broken. She needs a new stove. Am I the bad guy for sharing mom's expenses with my siblings? In a household with 5 kids, I'm the middle child and am financially shouldering the bulk of our mother's expenses. Recently, my sibling A mentioned that sibling B told them our mom's stove is no longer functional. Around Thanksgiving, my sibling B casually mentioned the stove's broken state, suggesting mom could benefit from a new one. However, they didn't take it upon themselves to contribute or ask others to contribute to a new stove, instead leaving it for me to pick up. I'm torn. Should I provide my siblings with an itemized breakdown of what I already pay for mom's expenses, or would this potentially embarrass our mother? AITA for not helping my little sister with her math problem? So my sister didn't understand her algebra and went to me for help. I told her that I suck at algebra and would only make it more confusing for her. Which is true. A bit later my mom stormed into my room and took. Was I in the wrong for not assisting my younger sister with her math homework? My sister came to me seeking assistance with her algebra, but I informed her that I wasn't proficient in the subject and could potentially confuse her further. This statement was genuinely true. Shortly after, my mother stormed into my room and confiscated my monitor due to this incident. She won't return it to me unless I make amends with my sister, which I'm unsure is necessary. TLDR, someone's mom took their computer monitor away as punishment for not helping their sister with math, but they think apologizing